You put your phone down, the room goes quiet, and within seconds your mind finds the one memory you did not want to revisit, the embarrassing thing you said years ago, the argument that still feels unfinished, the tiny change in someone's tone that makes you think, they're upset, it must be my fault, maybe they're going to leave. So you pick up your phone again. Maybe you do not crave stimulation as much as you fear what appears without it. Of course, not every scrolling habit is a trauma response. Sometimes an app is simply good at holding your attention. Difficulty focusing can also come from ADHD, anxiety, depression, poor sleep, stress, or many other causes. One behavior cannot diagnose you. But for some people, constant input does serve a psychological purpose. A video, podcast, or endless feed keeps the mind occupied, and while the mind is occupied, painful thoughts have less room to return. To understand this, imagine your mind as a flexible landscape. Your attention is a small ball rolling across it. Every time the ball follows a route, that route becomes a little easier to follow again. A thought you repeat often can become like a valley. Stressful memories, catastrophic predictions, and habits of self-blame may form especially deep valleys. In psychology and neuroscience, researchers sometimes use attractor models to describe this general idea. Mental activity can settle into familiar, self-reinforcing patterns. The landscape is a metaphor, not a literal map hidden inside your brain, but it captures something many people recognize. When life is busy, external demands guide the ball. You answer a message, you finish a task, you follow a conversation, then the stimulation disappears. Now the ball is free to move, and it may slide toward the deepest familiar valley, the old humiliation, the painful breakup, the fear of rejection, the certainty that something terrible is about to happen. This can look like an attention problem. You sit down to study or create, but part of your attention is monitoring danger, replaying the past, or preparing for an imagined disaster. Rumination is using the same limited mental workspace you need for the task in front of you. That does not mean trauma gave you ADHD. ADHD is a neurodevelopmental condition. Trauma-related distress can overlap with it, resemble parts of it, or exist alongside it. If concentration problems are persistent and interfere with your life, a qualified assessment is more useful than diagnosing yourself from a video. The same landscape also explains why boredom can feel so different from one person to another. For one person, an empty afternoon feels spacious. For another, it feels like a trap door. The moment external input stops, the mind drops into painful material. Naturally, that person tries to fill every gap: music in the shower, a podcast while cooking, short videos in bed. This is not proof of weak discipline. It may be a form of short-term protection, but protection has a cost. If every quiet moment is immediately filled, you get fewer chances to practice being alone with your mind in a tolerable way. You also lose some of the unstructured time that can support reflection, rest, and connecting ideas. The answer is not to force yourself into silence and endure whatever happens, and it is not to deliberately trigger your worst memories while trying to stay cheerful. Memories can sometimes change when they are recalled. Scientists call one part of this process reconsolidation, but memory updating has limits and conditions. Simply recalling a traumatic event in a happy setting does not guarantee that its emotional power will be rewritten. For some people, doing this alone can be overwhelming. A safer first step is smaller. Teach your attention that a little quiet can happen in the present, where you are safe enough right now. Try 60 seconds without content at a relatively calm time. Keep your eyes open. Notice 5 ordinary things in the room. Feel your feet against the floor. If a thought arrives, name it gently. That is a memory, or that is a prediction. Then return to what is physically here. If your distress rises sharply, stop. Reconnect with the room, move your body, or contact someone you trust. This is not a test of toughness, and it is not trauma treatment. If intrusive memories, flashbacks, dissociation, or severe distress keep pulling you away from daily life, professional support matters. Evidence-based trauma therapies use structure, pacing, and safety for a reason. Your mind may have deep valleys, but a valley is not your identity, and it is not your destiny. The next time your hand reaches for your phone the instant everything gets quiet, do not begin with, "Why do I have no self-control?" Ask, "What is this noise helping me avoid?" That question is not a diagnosis. It is the beginning of a better